Welcome to A Reason to Talk with Kris Reason, and today I'm here with a special guest, YouTuber, video game enthusiast, and all-around collector, Kris from GameDadShow.
How's it going?
Hey, thank you for coming on the show. Before we get into today's episode, let's hear from our sponsor, W Energy.
Check out W Energy. You get 10% off your order today using CRN10 for the code. Or visit w.gg/discount/CRN10 and get 10% off. Get blends like Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Dragon Aid. Perfect stuff, no sugar, no calories. And get a great booth for gaming, YouTube streaming, and a whole bunch more. Twitch, whatever. Check it out now. Use code CRN10 for 10% off or w.gg/discount/CRN10.
This is A Reason to Talk with Kris.
So anyways, I've seen you at multiple Midwest Gaming Classics. I've been in at least one of your videos for sure. It was from years ago, or a couple years ago. Excuse me. It was when you were picking up Wii U games to complete your collection. Did you ever complete your entire Wii U game collection?
Actually, pardon the mess, but you see that blue stack right there?
I do.
That is every single North American Wii U game, because that's my next big video, is recording everything that is in the entire set. So yeah, at Southeast Game Exchange this year, I believe that's where it was at, I got the final game. So yeah, I have the full Wii U set for North America now.
Is that including like the basic, like every year, like sports games and other things like that?
That includes all 11 Just Dance games.
Okay. I know, like, what was it, like, for the Wii, they still had, I think the last game for that was, like, Just Dance, God, I want to say it was 2023 or even 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they kept making it for the Wii after they stopped making it for the Wii U.
I get why they did, but that's still stupid.
Yeah. Oh, and they even had, so there's only 9 Just Dance games, but 2 of them had a gold edition that was a code for extra tracks. But they had an entirely different cover on them and everything, so I got those ones as well.
Hilarious. All right. Is there any other consoles you're trying to complete collections for or anything similar to that?
The new one that I've started, and it's not like I'm like all gung-ho trying to find the ones for it, but if I happen to come across games, I'll get it, is for the N-Gage.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Friggin', that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I figure it's a small set, and with the exception of like one of the games, they're all pretty cheap. It's just a matter of actually finding them.
Right, because like even being on the cheaper side, they're still going to be kind of rare.
Yeah.
Especially when you're looking at a console that kind of looks like a freaking taco.
Yeah. Hey, you gotta love the taco, man. Don't hit on the taco. It didn't get held weird at all.
Right. But then again, there's also weird crap like somebody was asking me, because I sell stuff too. Like when you saw me at Midwest, that was my buddy's booth, but my own booth. Somebody asked me if we had like the Game Gear that was like the branded with the Marlboro cigarettes.
Oh yeah, that one is rare. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't have that. But also, who came up with that idea?
It was perfect timing. It's like, hey, kids think this is cool. They think Game Gear's cool. Let's do this.
Right. I just thought that was hilarious. I think I just put 2 questions in here, the same thing, and I just wrote it twice. The other thing I've seen you do at Midwest Gaming Classic is those workshops. Now, do you focus on like handhelds, or do you do bigger consoles, or do you even do cartridge repairs?
So I mod basically everything. If there's a mod for it, I'll try it. And I've done most mods out there. I have, as far as like the actual workshop goes, I focus on doing the handhelds because they're the easiest kind of all-in-one thing that you can do that also doesn't require soldering. Because I have no idea what people's soldering skills are, and it will take what would normally be around an hour, hour and a half workshop and probably make it like 5 or 6 hours if I have to sit there and solder everything for every single person, and I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically focusing on handhelds, like I have done the regular GBA and the SP at Midwest Gaming, and I am in talks with them for this next year to do some Game Gear upgrades. It won't be a screen replacement because that definitely requires soldering and not a beginner level of it. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do the screen mod on there because they don't have a drop-in replacement for it.
Right.
But doing things like, a battery upgrade, an audio upgrade, things like that, that can be done with no to minimal soldering. So talking about doing that, and then at Torg this year, I'll be doing the SP workshop as well. So I'm going to be starting to branch out and do the modding workshops at different conventions.
Awesome. And I know, like, I know for sure. I know you did one for this past Midwest. I think you did it a couple other ones too, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the first one I really like. I started looking up like every single thing, like who's gonna be here, who's like looking at it to the T, because like I got like so many people like one of the last shows that like asked me questions, and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, with the bigger shows, man, they keep adding more and more experience stuff.
Right.
So instead of just going and seeing games, now you can meet a bunch of different people. You can do all kinds of extracurricular events, things like that. So they're really trying to make it so that people have more fun. It's a big event and not just an oversized swap meet.
Yeah, which I get, because then that way you get people coming in, just like even if you don't want people buying a whole bunch of stuff, you got people that are there to like are going to show up, so you get a bigger crowd.
Yeah.
That's like with, for example, is it the 14th? This coming Saturday? Yeah, I'll be at Wisconsin State Fairgrounds for MightyCon.
Oh, okay.
And they got a couple artists from comic books. I think they have a couple. I think there was a guy that did a voice there. I don't remember, but there's they do two in Wisconsin. One at State Fair and one in Madison. And the Madison one, they actually got the actress who played the Rita Repulsa from the original Power Rangers.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, that's pretty hilarious. I wouldn't mind meeting her.
Yeah.
But like doing stuff like that, you're bringing people in. My only thing is I wish it was more than one day. And
yeah.
Because then you get a bigger crowd that way.
Yeah, I prefer a con that's at least 2 days, but there's some fun one-day ones out there. It's not bad.
And then besides that, was there anything you've modded that just took way longer than you expected?
Oh yeah, the Game Gear. So Jay over at Square Pegs, he did a video talking about it, or it was like a short or something. But he has a fully decked out modded Game Gear, and I'm the one that did all the mods on that. So it was a reshell, but it was a custom reshell so that it instead of just being mono audio, it's stereo. So I also upgraded the speakers. I put in a stereo amp mod. I did the Type-C charging mod in it, so it has a rechargeable lithium battery. Did the screen on it, did all the button LEDs for it. And I mean, it was at the time of doing it, it was every single mod that was available for a Game Gear. So I did every single one. And I thought I had the whole thing good, except I was using my older soldering iron that isn't very good. And when I went to do the screen, I didn't realize I had my iron too hot, and it ended up screwing up the trace. So I ended up burning through 3 screens before I realized what was going on. And I mean, that's totally my fault, but it took what was about 2 hours of modding and made it about 8 hours long before I finally figured it out and got it working. And oh, that was a pain. I have a much better iron now too. So, but yeah, that one took way longer than I thought it would be. And then I have one mod that I just haven't started yet, and I've had it sitting there for like 2 years. But it is a capture card mod for a new 3DS XL. And it's like it's an insanely difficult mod to do, and there's a lot of case modification that you got to do to it. So I've been like psyching myself out and not doing it and just focusing on other ones. but that's one I really want to get it done, especially because things like what was it called Citra, I think, don't really work anymore because it got shut down. So
Yeah.
having a way to capture footage like that, like I have a soft modded 3DS and I can dump ROMs and just do stuff like that, but I can't play them anymore because Citra's not a thing.
Right.
So with this, it would be a direct capture.
Hmm.
So I want to get that mod done. It's just one where I'm like, do I even record this or just like show it after the fact and show what it can do? Because I know it's going to take forever to do it.
Just take highlight pictures, be like, hey, this is what I did. Go
Exactly. Yeah.
do like a
Here are the steps to my
right,
pain. Yeah.
right. I know I picked up a while back a N64 that someone told me that like the controller ports needed like fixing. I'm like, cool.
Mhm.
I know nothing. So I bought like a cheap soldering kit. Can't talk anymore. From Walmart, and then literally just first thing I did was just test the N64. Nothing was wrong with it. I'm like, cool.
Nice.
Save me
Oh
time
yeah.
there.
I mean, most of the time, if stuff like that doesn't work, it's just dirty contacts.
Yeah.
You just clean it with a little isopropyl alcohol and you're good to go.
Right. I know right now, I'm in the process of like polishing and cleaning a whole bunch of NES and SNES cartridges right now, and it's taking me like this
Nice.
3 times because I feel like somebody just dunked it in like syrup or something.
Ugh.
It's like the
Yeah.
weirdest like stuff. You're like, why? Um, with your YouTube, you are
Mhm.
close to hitting the 10,000 mark.
Close, very close.
Are you planning like a special 10,000 subscriber video by any chance?
I haven't really thought about it because I mean, yeah, I keep an eye on where the subs are at and everything, but I focus more on just doing videos and putting them out. I will probably end up doing something. I'm not a huge planner. I kind of just wing it. And I find that that's when I do my best stuff anyways. So I'm sure
Right.
I'll do some sort of like a thank you thing or some sort of giveaway. It's been a long time since I've done a giveaway on the channel, so I'm sure that I will come up with something whenever that time comes.
Right. Cool. I know, like I think you had a booth at the last Midwest game. Kind of going back to the
Mhm.
what we were talking before. Although my screensaver just went up.
No worries.
You have a booth there too. Are you now? Is that part of your collection, or are you selling modded stuff, other things?
So I did have some modded stuff there. I actually ended up selling a ton of my modded stuff to a store owner, and I got a great deal on that. And then a lot of it was stuff from my collection that was just like, I don't need this stuff anymore. I don't collect for this. And I've still got several of those big like black and yellow totes.
Mm,
So I've got a bunch of those that are just filled with stuff. I don't know that I will do a booth again at this Midwest just because I was so busy at the booth that I barely got to see any of the convention at all last year.
that
Like I got enough to get some footage and do a
right?
video and about it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
like me too. Because like
so
I have me going around trying to film and work a booth. It's just like a pain in the ass. Even with 4 people running one booth, it's a big booth, so you're still like
yeah,
all over the place.
yep. Yeah, so I don't know if I'll do that. I'll probably just start putting stuff online that I want to get rid of. That way, I don't really have to deal with doing the booth or anything. Like, sure, you make good money and stuff, and you get to talk to a lot of people, but I have never been more exhausted than
Right.
whenever I ran the booth. Yeah, it was just mentally exhausting doing that all day.
I know, like setting up wise, it's a pain because you got to get there Friday sometime. Whenever I know they
Hmm.
switch it to like scheduling, like how they do it. And then like you're there early Saturday, and you're like if you're like me, I stayed to the after party and went from whatever time I got there around 8:30 in the morning, 8 in the morning, and stayed till like God knows like 1 in the morning almost for
Yep,
that after
yep.
party. And I'm like, God, I'm tired. This tomorrow's
Yeah,
gonna
I didn't
suck.
even end up going to the after party because we got there Friday, and we couldn't unload yet because it wasn't like our turn for it yet.
Yeah.
Um, but then we had to like offload our stuff somewhere. That way we could get everything parked and set up because then I had to go do the workshop. And then as soon as the workshop was done, then went back, moved all the stuff into where our actual booth was and started getting it all set up. And then we set up the last of it Saturday morning. But it was nonstop from the second we got there. And it was just like, man, I like making money, but at the same time,
It's a lot of work.
I didn't get to enjoy myself while I was there. It was just
Right.
work the entire time. So,
I know with the setting up wise, like they did that to us. Well, a lot of people like I think they either didn't pick a time slot or whatever, or if they did, they showed up early anyways to see if they could come in. But the security that was working there were like, "Yeah, no, come back." To like, there's like 3 people in front of us that were not there at the right time, and it was just hilarious. Because then like somebody's like, "Just go around." I'm like, "I don't think I can. I'm boxed in."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I'm like, okay. Now, obviously, I can see a lot of your collection in the screen.
Yeah.
Is there no? I'm assuming you prefer physical media to a lot of stuff.
Yes, I do.
But is there stuff that you do digitally versus physical?
I will always choose physical if I can. But if there is something where it's digital only, or it'll likely be years before it gets a physical release, like with a lot of indie titles,
You're right.
I will buy it digitally, and then when it comes out physically, eventually I'll get it again. Because you're never going to get a physical indie if you don't support it digitally. So
Right.
I'll always support stuff like that. But as far as like AAA games and stuff, it's like, no, if you didn't make a physical, unless it's something I really want, I am not going to pay for this.
Right.
So I will always take physical media.
Well, I've noticed for physical physical versus digital. For one example, I'm gonna just shoot here. Like I know Call of Duty, like Black Ops 2, for like I think like the PS3 version physically, like maybe like 15 to 18 bucks, whatever. But then for some reason, if you still want to buy it digitally, it's still like almost $40. Like
Yeah.
the price range for a lot of digital stuff, like it never goes on sale, or if it does go on sale, it's very rare.
Yeah.
But that's
Well,
not,
and digital, they always charge either the same amount or maybe a couple bucks less than the physical. And
yeah,
it's like, okay, your guys' price point on this is way off, because I guarantee that you don't, it's not costing you as much.
right,
Like, I understand you got to pay creators and all that kind of stuff, but at the same time, it's like you're not physically pressing anything, so you're not out any money for that.
right,
So charge less for the digital.
right. The other thing with that too is that for me, I prefer physical, but then I'll like if I don't like it, I don't want to keep the game. Or if I don't
Yeah.
want it in my collection, there's no resale value to it digital. You can't just return it. It's
Yep.
there forever.
Yeah.
Unless for some reason like a server or something goes down.
Yeah.
Or something random like that. But lately, for my physical collection, I actually sold a lot of most stuff and started going towards homebrews. Like I picked up like Serial Cafe from John Riggs, a few games from John Hancock, and I'm just like going back and forth. And there's games out there that like people made that are either homebrews or reproductions that are sometimes better than the other ones or funnier. Because I know one of my buddies owns a shop, and he has it's an SNES cartridge where somebody took Conquer, put him in Hyrule, and then pretty much just made it like a Conquer game. And like if
That's awesome.
if you're looking at the cartridge, it looks like the old Grand Theft Auto design where they have like all the pictures and stuff. Pretty much your Conquer and Hyrule going to strip clubs and whatever. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, this beats out my other question. I was going to ask you if you were going to be at Midwest Gaming Classic in April.
Yep.
You kind of already mentioned.
Yeah, no, I am. I have an agreement with them that I am there for minimum another 4 years.
Oh, nice. So it's like I didn't even know they did that type of stuff. Like I know they had sponsors and everything. I didn't know there was like a contract or like agreements or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is there any? I forgot what the hell I was going to ask you. I asked you all my basic questions. I was writing down more, and then I had to get rid of one of them. So now, is there anything in particular that, with your Wii U collection, that was just a pain that you're like, do I really want this in there to make it complete, or do you just want, or like, screw it, I want it complete, I got to get it?
Let's see. Yeah, there's a couple of games like the gold editions of the Just Dance games. Those were really hard to find. They weren't expensive or anything. They were just hard to find because it was a super uncommon title. But there was a couple where paying the price that I did, it's like that really sucks because the game's not even fun. But I was so close to the full collection that I might as well. Like Devil's Third is one of those where it's a fun game, but it's easily the most expensive one on the console. Luckily I got a pretty good deal on it, but I think it's still regularly going for 300 or 400 now. And it's It's not worth that, not at all. Um, but there's a few others where it was probably about 20% higher than what it would have been at retail.
Right.
Um, like the Crudes. That game is pretty fun, but it was definitely up there in price. Turbo, what was it called? Oh, it's just called Turbo. The movie game about the
The
snail.
snail, yeah.
Yeah, that one was a little bit higher priced than retail. But then there was a couple where they're really good games, but most of the time people had them sealed, and I didn't want sealed copies. One, because I'm going to break the seal, and two, because I don't want to pay the sealed
Yep.
price for it. So one of those that I kept seeing, and I finally found one that wasn't sealed. But I think that one wasn't sealed. No, they were selling it for a lower price than the sealed price, so I just bit the bullet, and that was Axiom Verge Multiverse Edition. So I already had that on Switch because it was just a regular game that was released on Switch. But on Wii U, that was the one where I believe it was limited run. They had like a ton of issues with licensing and all kinds of stuff on the Wii U version, and
Yeah.
that was what spiked the price on that one. So normally the sealed price was like over $200, and they had it for significantly less than that. And I was just like, okay, fine, yes, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
So
I
I got
know
picked up that one.
I know limited run is actually a great thing for a lot of what we were talking before with digital games going into physical, especially with indie games. They're great at releasing a lot of that stuff that way too.
Yeah.
For your collection base, are you like I know for me it doesn't really matter depending on the console. Like for example, if I'm collecting for PlayStation 3, greatest hits, I like the red casing that they use.
Yeah.
But for PlayStation 1, the green kind of got to me. Um,
Yeah.
if I find the greatest hits, I don't mind. But like, are you particular in anything like that where you can't have
No.
the greatest hits?
No, I'm not particular about that. If especially if it's something where I'm going for a set, I mean that'll just be part of the set. That's like the N64 set. If you count just North America, I'm what is it? I think 3 games away from the full set. But I've been going for the full global set.
All right.
And that includes all color variants and player's choice. And there's 20 player's choice variants for the N64. And with that, I am getting the ones that actually have the player's choice label on them. Just because that's the one I wanted a full, complete global set, every single
Right.
game they ever released. So that one I'm doing that. But if it's something else where it's like, oh, I want to pick this up. Oh, it's a player's choice or it's a greatest hits, whatever. I don't care.
Right. Are you like with the N64 you were saying, are you doing multi variants of N64 themselves too, or just the games?
I have several of the consoles. I haven't decided if I will definitely do the full console set. But if I do, I already have the most expensive one, so that's good. But and also if I do it, because I always see the loose consoles, but if I do it, those ones in particular, I'm gonna get them complete in box. So like right now, I have the. See, are they sitting back there right now? Yeah. So I have the North American Pikachu edition complete in box,
Okay.
the Jungle Green, and the Smoke Gray. And the Smoke Gray is the super expensive one. Um, that one, I believe, just consoles like $1,000. Uh, yeah, and in complete in box, like it's got everything. It's got the paperwork, it's got the plastic wrap, all of it. So if I were to do it, I would want to get them all in box, and then I'll probably do like some sort of display. Like I'll have all the boxes, but then like show all the consoles with their controllers, that kind of thing.
I like that because like I know with like a lot of I saw a collection a while back where somebody just had the boxes and they just wanted the box on display and then had the console
Mhm.
separate.
Yeah,
Which that I mean if the box is in great condition that looks amazing. Um,
yeah.
but then for me personally, if I find it, yeah, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I am about it. It's like if I see it, because I see them all the time. But it's if I see one and I got the cash to burn and it's a decent price, I'll probably pick it up. But I'm not just like, okay, I have to get this one right now.
Right.
I'm more concerned with the games because I mean, I've got bins filled with N64s. It's like I have a million ways to play it. I don't care. Um, all they are is just a color change. So that part I don't really care about. But yeah, like you said, if I see it, sure, I'll do it. But I'm not really tripping. There's one thing I want to get now that the Wii U set is complete because they're actually not as expensive as you would think and not as expensive as other platforms. I would love to get a Wii U kiosk. Like I don't have any kiosks, but a Wii U kiosk I think would be a really cool addition because all the kiosks for the Wii U aren't huge.
Right.
So they don't take up a ton of space. Like some of the ones for the Switch are massive
Yeah. You have
because they
like the
take way
whole
bigger TVs
right.
too. But it would be smaller than an arcade machine. So I think that would be cool to get a kiosk. That way I can just have like that one final thing as a piece to the collection.
I know one thing for my personal collection, I've never gotten any type of kiosk, or I wasn't even looking for anything until you just brought it up and
Mhm.
then thought about it. Plus, I don't even know where the hell I would store it. But
Yeah.
I know, God, this was years ago. McDonald's had like a GameCube
hmm
kiosk where they had like the
Yeah.
multiple around it. I'm like, dude, that'd
I
be
remember that.
freaking sweet.
That
Just
would
like,
be cool. I remember that with the GameCube and the N64 that they had
yeah.
that.
And I'm just like, I don't know where the hell I'd put that in my house, but it'd just be like
Oh no.
really interesting to have.
I don't even have all my arcades down here. I got three of them down here right now. Wait, is it three? No, I've got two of them down here right now. And I've got another one, two, three still that are in my garage. So, and then I've sold like four of them. And then I got a pinball machine and all that stuff too. None of that's down here because I don't really have a place to put it yet. So,
Makes sense. Back to modding. Is
mhm.
there a limit to what generation, like how new of a generation that you do not mod?
No, I don't really have. Oh, sorry, my beast is behind us.
Sorry.
Uh, I don't really have any hard and fast rule about no, I'm not doing this console. There are definitely consoles that are way more of a pain.
Right.
Like what is it? The PSP 2000. That thing sucks, man. It's such a pain in the ass. And then like what is it? The not the 3DS, but like the DSi.
Yeah.
Uh, Nintendo is just famous for having a billion different screws and multiple different
Yep.
types. And the DSi, not so much the DSi, but the DS Lite. That one is a huge pain in the butt. So that one I don't like doing it, so I often won't. But like I have bins of consoles to repair, and the older it gets, the easier it is. So
Right.
that's always nice. But Nintendo stuff seems to be the most difficult just because the number of screws and the different sizes of screws that they have.
Yeah.
Like a recent video I did was reshelling the Switch Lite, and God, that sucks. It's so awful. And it's not that it's hard, it's just it takes forever because there are so many screws in that thing. And I kid you not, I think it was at least seven different sizes of screw in it, or like size and type. And so you have to perfectly lay it out. That way you know exactly where everything is going to go. Because if you put one in the wrong spot, you could either short something out on the board, it could go through the shell. Huge pain in the butt. Like on another console, what would be something that takes you maybe 30 minutes takes you like 2 to 3 hours
Yeah.
just because there's so much to do.
Yeah. I know, like, there's a video I was watching a while back where this guy had somebody mod a Vita for him.
Mm.
But he said, like, it took so long because it being a Vita. But, like, also he wanted, like, he put, like, the PS, like, a whole library of PSP and Vita games on there. And I'm like, that seems ridiculous. No wonder why it took so long.
Yeah. Physically modding a Vita is a pain in the butt. But soft modding it, that's not bad.
Right.
That way you can like just load up a memory card, or a memory stick because it's proprietary stuff. But yeah, soft modding it isn't bad. Same with like I have a soft modded 3DS as well. And yeah, that's not terrible. It's the physical mod of something like that because they were designed to never be opened. So
Yeah. Which I get, because then you break a warranty depending on what it is.
yep.
And then you're screwed. Anywho, thank you for coming on the show. Can't wait to see you at Midwest again.
Yeah.
Random notification here I had on my phone, tried to delete at the same time. Everybody, check out Game Dad Show on YouTube. Don't search just Game Dad because a lot of other crap comes up. I tried doing that the other day. I believe you're on TikTok as well. Pretty much every social media, Game Dad Show. Anything else you want to promote by any chance?
If you're going to be in the Cleveland, Ohio area, coming up in the next few weeks, I think it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks away. I'll be at the Cleveland Gaming Classic, and then beginning of November, that first weekend, I will be at Torg, in Columbus, Ohio. So those are, I believe, my last two cons of the year, and then MGC 2025. That's usually the kickoff to the con season. So.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show. And then also thank you for everybody for listening today on today's episode of Reason to Talk with Kris Reason. Make sure you check out W Energy. Link will be in the description below. w.gg/discount/CRN10. Get 10% off your order today. Awesome energy drinks, hydration, a whole bunch of other stuff. Make sure you hit that follow button on all major platforms, or podcast platforms, and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Stay up to date for new episodes and new other content. Peace and bacon grease, guys.